Welcome to Comic Toy Reviews. This is a 3-volume Visionaries of Daredevil, the Frank Miller run of the character from the 1980s. That's Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. Frank Miller did the covers to these volumes, so this is actually new art on the covers of the volumes that Miller drew in his style, his current style. If you know his work, you know his art style evolved, and this is not how he drew Daredevil from the 1980s. One cool thing is if you get these 3 volumes, you can see 1, 2, and 3, the DD symbol is formed from getting each volume. Of the volumes, Volume 1 is the thinnest, Volume 2 is the thickest and best volume in my opinion, and Volume 3, pretty thick, but still, Volume 2 is the best one overall. The reason this is small is Frank Miller started as the artist here and not the writer. So in this edition, this is just his art. And then Volume 2 is when things really heated up and he took over the writing and the art. Volume 1's cover price was $17.95. Volume 2's cover price, $24.95. And a good bargain for that one. And Volume 3's cover price, $24.95. Before I continue the review, I'd like to say they do have an omnibus for this, but it's not been reprinted, it's long sold out, and is very expensive in the secondary market. They have reprinted these Visionaries with a different cover design, but it is out there in trade paperback form like this. And if you go to a convention, you'll probably find this. So, let's get to it. This was in the early 2000s, 2002 they printed this. This has issues 158 to 167. One thing I didn't like, you'll see right away, is they were doing wacky things with the covers. They weren't including them in some trade paperbacks. Look at this. They angled the cover sideways. That makes no sense. Why did they angle the cover sideways? They gave you the cover, but they turned it partially to the side. That's just stupid. Just show the cover. Why the heck why'd they have to play games like that? Starts off in the middle of a storyline. Was a little confusing what exactly was going on. Frank Miller, you could tell he really knew before he experimented with his art and really changed his art style. You could tell he had all the basics down, that he actually does know how to draw well in terms of anatomy, in terms of page design and laying out the page. As they say, before you can break the rules, you gotta know the rules. Because some people just like to experiment and do things, but they don't have the basic understandings of what exactly they're doing. It's only when you actually know what you're doing could you experiment and take it in different directions. And Frank Miller definitely, while he was being more traditional here, he actually does have all the basics down and really done well. And then it was later on in his career that he broke out into his own styles and really expanded as an artist. See, again, another example. The cover here is curved. You do get the full cover, but it's just slightly curved. It makes no sense. It's printed on glossy paper, which explains why some of the light is just angling off of the video here, making it kind of tough to see. But trying to do my best here. This volume does not contain Elektra. That happened in Volume 2 when he took over writing. Even though he didn't create Bullseye, he's the one who made Bullseye the maniac that he's been known since in Marvel Comics. And there seems actually to be like 2 different versions of Daredevil. There's the Stan Lee Daredevil, his personality, which was kind of like, in Stan Lee's own words, like a swashbuckler. And this Daredevil that Miller recreated in a way is more of a crime and like a noir type of character. Real, for lack of a better word, grim and gritty comics. This was one of those series that helped inspire that trend. Let's see, I'll show you another cover. See right here? Again, an angled cover. You do get the full cover, but it's tilted. That's annoying. And so volume 1, just want to flip to the end here. It wasn't Miller writing. They saved that for the next volume. Here it is, volume 2. This is where Elektra was introduced, and it contains issues 168 all the way down to 182. Really nice volume. Look at that. So right away, volume 2, that classic Elektra cover, which, as you know, Elektra, her name was spelled wrong right on the cover. Now it's Frank Miller, artist and writer, Claes Janson as the anchor. Really nice Daredevil shots. Here, that's Elektra, flashbacks, and here, Bullseye, right away, becoming the crazy character that he is. Kingpin. And this was in the 1980s, and Frank Miller was on a monthly book. So, and it is actually referred to as one of the great 1980s comic book series, the Daredevil run by Frank Miller. And he really established a lot, and so many artists and writers, especially writers, have just taken up the concepts that were established in this 1980s run, and they've been copying the concepts, making plots based off this stuff, and just running with what was established here ever since. Elektra. Also, the Hand, Frank Miller really did a lot of work establishing the Hand as powerful, big-time villains at Marvel, and especially in Daredevil's world. And the Hand has been associated with Daredevil ever since, really. Just trying to show you some of the art. Some nice experimenting here, I like that, look at that. It's all red, but it's black and white, kind of like a flashback here. Well done. The art style was evolving a little bit. If you look close, hopefully it could show here. In terms of his storytelling, it was evolving. Really nice cover. Most of these stories have continuing subplots, but a lot of these issues were like 1 or 2 parters. Classic cover right here. You've probably seen this one before. Here's volume 3, and it contains issues 183 to 191, and a What If Daredevil became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and What If Elektra had lived from Bizarre Adventures number 28. So those are the issues contained here. Really nice Daredevil. Also had a nice Punisher crossover, as you could tell here. Let's put it this way. Punisher and Daredevil don't see eye to eye in justice. If anything, they're perfect rivals from their different perspectives on crime. Where the Punisher just sees criminals as criminals and that they should be executed, Daredevil believes in the justice system, while the Punisher sees the justice system as just flawed on principle and that it doesn't work, and that it's a revolving door of criminals going in and out. And with the Punisher, there is no revolving door. Showing you a lot of the pages. You could tell it's not like Bendis, for example, in writing, where Daredevil is just out of costume almost every page, or he's only in costume Daredevil a couple of panels. You could tell when Miller was handling it, he was actually handling a good pace of Murdock in the costume as well as out of the costume, a good balance between the two. That's one thing a lot of comics now don't have, is that the hero is out of the costume most of the time, and for new readers, they want to see probably what the character's about, and they want the character in costume. And that was a big thing back then. Really nice cover. This is Black Widow in her gray costume with short hair. 1980s. More hand ninjas, as you can tell. Elektra. There is actually a white hand ninja right there, Stone. The hand. For those wondering about Elektra in a white costume. And this is the last issue of that original Frank Miller run. This is the cover to What If Daredevil Became an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And what if Elektra had lived? And with that, so that's it. This is the Frank Miller 3-volume run of Visionaries of the Daredevil saga that he wrote and drew. I would recommend getting all 3 volumes, especially if you see it at a good price at a convention, which chances are you might. But if you had to get just 1 volume of the 3, I would say the best issue that has the most issues and the most story is Volume 2. It's where Frank Miller took over the writing and the art, and things really heated up in the book. If you start it with Volume 3, it pretty much concludes and wraps up a lot of storylines. That's why you don't want Volume 3 to read first. Volume 1, average, because he was only handling the art, and it just wasn't quite there yet as a series. But Volume 2 here is the real winner. Can't go wrong with this Volume 2 of Visionaries. But, as I said, if you get the chance, read all 3. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll talk to you later.